hate my basketball team. They aren't any good anymore. And they got killed by the Hawks. Well, welcome on in, everybody. Tobin here with you. And bless your heart for checking out the channel. I mean, you are so righteous to come here. And I don't know, maybe you want me to blast people. Maybe you just want a place to... I'm not in a good place, guys. I'm not in a good place. Potentially the worst basketball game I've ever seen. And that's saying something considering that I was at the Jazz loss at home this season. But the thing that was at least merciful about that game is you knew it was over in the first quarter. You're like, oh, it's over. Okay. This is just going to be one of those nights, and the Jazz destroyed. Now, adding insult to injury was the fact that it was my son's first Heat game, and now all of a sudden he's coming at me with soccer highlights every single day. So, you know, we got some work to do to rebuild his Heat fandom. But this game was like it was truly like a slow poisoning to watch this game unfold. Truly one of the worst offensive games you will ever see. And the numbers are so comically bad tonight from downtown. It's unbelievable. 7 of 40 from downtown. But, quick math, what is that? 3 of 31 for those not named Andrew Wiggins today. 3 of 31. Wow. There's not even a top on it anymore. I am in hell. What did I do to deserve this? Oh. This team is so bad. I mean, they are so pathetically bad. Just like and Spo the other night, you know, he comes out last night. God love him. And he's talking about I see improvement. And then they do that for him. Not that he's been any first prize, dude. Not that he's been any first prize this season. But could you imagine your coach like sitting there publicly, never rips his team publicly. He vouches for you guys and is like, I see improvement. And we're all just seeing and some part of me was like an idiot. And I was like, oh, you do? Oh, because when he says that, he usually means it. And he, you know, he's just lying to me just to soothe my pain. And I don't even know, dude. I don't even know what to make of this year. You know, it's over, but it's never been more over. The Heat now drop to 4 games under 500, 26 and 30 on the season. 4 games under 500. Just a colossal failure. The only reason they can't fall out of the play-in is because everybody else is way worse. But, I mean, I guess the Heat got some work ahead of them. They do have some pretty tough games coming up. So I don't hold it against them quite yet. It's an absolute bummer, dude. It's tragic how bad this is. They have fallen 5 games behind the Detroit Pistons. They're not really even in the class of the Detroit Pistons, who have won 7 in a row. Now comfortably in that 6th spot. So you're nearly almost like guaranteed to be in the play-in. And you're going to have to win twice. And this maybe this is the best path. I'm not a tank guy, guys. I'm not a tank guy. But I've also not, like, I don't even know what the point of it is right now. Like, the whole season is a loss. Tyler, incredible year. Bam, good to see you got out of that funk, but the damage might have been done on the season already. Kalel, glad that we got to him finally, and it really looks like he's starting to come out of it these last couple of games. I do want to say I didn't know, because I had a lashing out tweet because the game was terrible. And Capella was like kicking the Heat's ass in the 4th quarter. And Okongwu was getting easy buckets. And I was sitting here and I'm like, didn't Kalel Ware have like 15 rebounds through 3 quarters? Where is he? And somebody pointed out, shout out to at Bammy_day, Moonwalker on Twitter. He said, Ware cut his hand. I didn't see it. But you guys got to give me a break. I might have gotten some hazy eyes during the middle of the game because it was so bad. So if I missed Kalel Ware cutting his hand, 2 things are either awful. One, it's a terrible basketball decision, but it appears it's just even worse, which is for the 2nd night in a row, one of the Miami Heat bigs' hand got busted up. This time it got sliced open and may have needed stitches. So I'll see if I can see some quotes from Spo before this is all over. But if that is the case, I apologize for lashing out. And, what are you going to do? Really? Whew. Just brutal. Terry Rozier did get benched. We did get that. I will say for the Terry Rozier thing, and it's not that I haven't lashed out at him either, okay? Because I have. But he doesn't play today, and Alec Burks somehow goes in there and does worse. How is that possible? How is it possible that finally Erik Spoelstra decides, you know what? I'm not going to play Terry Rozier today. I'm going to play Alec Burks instead. And Alec Burks is like, I got you, Spo. I got you, big dog. Here's a 1 for 12 performance. Like, there's no way Erik Spoelstra is not, like, cranking open the biggest bottle of gin on the flight home today. And is just like, what did I do to deserve this? Like, I tried. That's one of those, like, if you guys were sitting here and you're just like, come on, man, let's just, I know we owe him $26 million next year, Spo, but just play Alec Burks, you know? All right. Well, yeah, you're right, boys. Well, what's the worst he could do? 1 for 12 is what he could do. Jaime Jaquez Jr., an all-rookie player last year, 7 minutes, 1 for 3. Duncan Robinson, 1 for 6. Tyler Hero, 4 for 19. 0 for 9 from 3. 4 turnovers. Bam Adebayo, 5 of 13. Not awful, but a pretty minimal impact. 4 turnovers for him today. 4 turnovers, 5 rebounds for Bam today. Abysmal. Andrew Wiggins, pretty decent. He's like the only guy. If there wasn't Andrew Wiggins, like this could be, I mean, this is off the charts bad. Not that it's not. So, I mean, just brutal. Had like the funny thing was too, like I was watching today's game and I'm like, man, there really is like a 6-point game with 5 minutes left. All they need to do is get 2 3-pointers and they would just get look after look after look and brick. Shooting like the third little pig, dude. Made his house out of bricks for you people who didn't get fairy tales. George Niang's out there hitting Wiggins right in the face. Spo's furious, but he won't get teed up. I don't know, man. Brutal. You know what? Let's pop into this. I bet he's talking right now. Let's see what this guy has to say. All right, so actually listening to Spo. Let's see. Some of the I mean, he closed it off and he was saying this was his message. He said, our group is resilient. You need stubbornness. You got to be stubborn, not read anything. We're closer than what it feels. At least the head coach feels that we are. You got to be stubborn. Look, no one's ever going to accuse Erik Spoelstra of not being stubborn. And I don't believe the dude is washed. Okay? I think the man is a very good coach. I think anybody who's doubted Erik Spoelstra typically has ended up with egg on their face. Now, that being said, I do agree with the sentiment. This has not been his finest season. I don't think that publicly, I don't know what it was like privately. Publicly, I don't think that he handled the Jimmy Butler thing great. I don't like how long it took him to play Kel'el Ware. Even right now, in the idea that he's going to lean into a lot of older guys than younger guys, and I don't really understand, necessarily the point of it. I guess right now you're just looking for wins or whatnot, but that's long been a thing where you're looking around confused. Because, dude, quite frankly, right now, I don't think, and this is like me today, like just jarring my brain of like thinking like, what could they do? Like at my point right now, like go call up Josh Christopher from Sioux Falls and go bring Keshad Johnson and let Keshad Johnson get some run and let these young guys get out there and get Pella out there and get a little bit of the team that had success in Las Vegas and see what they can do, for God's sakes. Let them go through some growing pains. You're 4 games under 500, man. You want to know where you are right now? This is a sobering thought. Here's this for you. Right now, the Miami Heat have 26 wins on the season. 26 wins on the season. As we sit here recording at 10:22 p.m. on a lovely Monday, currently, Joe Cronin's Portland Trail Blazers have 24 wins and are leading at halftime, meaning we could be by the end of tonight, and Joe Cronin could be within a win of the Miami Heat. You believe that? If you want to feel, after everything the Miami Heat went through last summer and where they were after a finals run, bullying this man, a rat bastard, not somebody I have any empathy for, ridiculous puff pieces from Adrian Wojnarowski, but Chauncey Billups has the Portland Trail Blazers with 1 or 2 fewer less wins than your Miami Heat. That's where they're at right now. They are very simply a bad team. Not good, not average. Right now, they are playing bad basketball. They're 1-6 since the Jimmy Butler trade. Understand they've had to deal with a lot of adversity. Now they had to deal with a really bad injury, losing their best bench man with Nico going down. So, Spo can talk about stubbornness. He can talk about needing that and to put themselves in the foxhole and bury all that stuff. And that's fine. To each his own. He's probably going to do that anyway. But this just feels and has felt very much like a dead season. From whatever. Snake bit from the Jimmy Butler thing. But just going back to without Jimmy, the Magic losses, the Detroit losses, the him forgetting how many timeouts he had, the Sabonis putback, the loss of the Kings on the road. You guys have seen the numbers, the amount of double-digit leads this team has blown. And then on top of it, if Tyler Hero doesn't have an average night, you're sunk offensively. Nobody on this team can score. And I just, I appreciate it. I'm glad that he thinks that way. I hope that in a week I look like a dumbass. That's what I want. That would make me happy. I don't want to be in this miserable spot right now. But the facts are the facts. And the Miami Heat have been playing really bad basketball for a while now. And, you're talking a run here in a lot of red this month. You are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Hey, you're 3-7 this month. Your wins are against the Toronto Raptors, one of the worst teams in the conference, the Philadelphia 76ers, probably the biggest joke in the league, and the San Antonio Spurs, who I don't believe had Victor Wembanyama that game. And it took every bit to get that one. Those are your wins this month, dude. Your wins. And that's taking an ass kicking from the Brooklyn Nets, an ass kicking from the Celtics, an epic collapse choke against OKC, losing to the backups of the Dallas Mavericks, ran out of gas against the Bucks, worst offensive game of the season against the Hawks. So whatever Erik Spoelstra is seeing, I don't know what he's seeing. He's got the trained eye. I am an untrained doofus. Okay? I'll fully accept it. But I want to know what he's seeing. What is he possibly seeing? Because this lack of consistency, been there all year. This inability to score, been there basically since January 1st. The inconsistent defense, basically been there for 2 months straight. What is he seeing? What is he seeing? Other than, is he seeing a mirage? Is he delusional? I don't know. But that's what he's going to lean into. Stubbornness. I hope it pays off. But it's hard to feel the way this season has gone like it's going to pay off. He said, on Terry Rozier not playing, we're searching. I feel for the guys. It's not anyone's fault. We're just trying to find something. He said this had the chance to be a gratifying win. He referenced the Kyle Anderson play. That was kind of like the last stand for Miami. Kyle Anderson looked like he forced a turnover on Trae Young, and I thought Trae Young fouled him. It was overturned. Coach's challenge. They called it a foul on Kyle Anderson. Definitely a big swing moment for Miami, but, that is they have not been a team to be able to make their own luck this year, man. So I don't know what Erik Spoelstra's seeing because they have not been playing good basketball for a while. That's just the facts. They haven't. And they have a lot of soul searching to do as an organization because it is one of those times, just like it was with the end of Dwayne Wade. The facts are they got to a point where it was the end of Dwayne Wade's era. And, they had that crazy 500 season that they weren't expecting. They probably thought they were going to tank in the middle of that year. And Spo doesn't believe in that. The organization doesn't believe in that. And then they ended up paying James Johnson and Deion Waiters and all those guys. You guys know the story. And then it just kind of felt like they were again going into another year where they're going to try and get like, hey, Jay Rich is our closer. We're going to figure this thing out. And then eventually they're like, oh, yeah, this isn't going to work. We need an actual star. And Tyler's been amazing this year. I think Tyler Hero has shown himself to be a winning player and be tough. Is he a face of a franchise guy? I don't know. I don't think this is like a great stats, empty calorie stats. He's been very efficient this year, so I'm not putting this on Tyler. I think there's a lot of flaws in this roster that are not Tyler-centric. Bam, unfortunately for him, it took him basically up until February to get out of this rut offensively. He had just a bad year where he couldn't score. And that's just the non-locker room spirit stuff of the Jimmy Butler stuff and how that all weighed on the team. And the weird thing is like their response to the Jimmy thing, I think everybody looked at it and had the assumption it was going to be galvanizing. But unfortunately for the Miami Heat, it almost feels like with the Jimmy thing, once that adversity was out of the building, it was almost like no one's watching us anymore. And they've just completely let go of what anything means. I hate to put that on because I know there's a lot of guys on that team who compete their ass off. But it's tough not to look at the results and feel that way. That, once that was gone and nobody was watching anymore and it's like, it's all okay. But this isn't okay. This isn't the standard of the organization. Not even close. And the higher-ups, Pat Riley, Andy Ellisberg, Mickey Arison, Nick Arison, Spo, Alonzo, Adam Simon, the lot of them. They got a lot of soul searching to do as an organization right now. And you got to figure this thing out because I know that your soul says not to tank and not to throw in the towel on anything. And I don't even know that it's even possible because of the teams that are behind you and where they're at. But even just getting to the finish line and you finish 9th, you gotta make some major overhaul to this because this isn't even close to what the fans expect. Not even close. Not even close. And I understand this is one of those years that, you were hopeful you could get through with the whole Butler thing being, minimalized and that it was going to be fine and he was going to hunker down with you. But all that's done now. And the damage is done. And Jimmy's off to greener pastures and is flourishing, and you're sitting here floundering. So you need to start figuring out a course of action, whatever the hell that is. Whether it's going to find your next Orca, loading up on assets. You had Cooper Flag in your damn building today, whether that's, tanking for lottery balls. I don't know. But this status quo, run it back next year? No, that cannot be. That cannot be. I don't know what the next 26 games are going to bring for Miami. But stubborn, I think we've seen plenty of stubborn this year, Spo. I think we've seen plenty of stubborn. I think it's time to actually have an open mind to certain things and figure out what's left. Whether that's finding out what guys in Sioux Falls have in their holster for you, whether it's seeing if Jaime's got any juice left to him, continuing to let Kel'el Ware play through everything. I thought that this, out of anybody over these last couple of days, I thought, he showed actual resilience on the court. And, hopefully Tyler continues to flourish, put some good things together, and Bam can too. But, until then, we do what we always do on a night like this. We sip it away. Oh, great, I'm out. Perfect.